Hi everybody, welcome to Junk Drawer Art with Miss Riley. I am Miss Riley. It is World Travel Wednesday, and I was thinking already earlier that yesterday we kind of did World Travel Wednesday for Cinco de Mayo, and I was thinking about maybe traveling somewhere a little closer to home today, and so I was thinking about the art of people who are native to the United States of America. We may call them Native Americans, some people call them American Indians. There are different phrases, but the people who are here, who are indigenous to the United States. And one of my favorite types of art is the art of the people who were in the Pacific Northwest. And the specific tribe that I think of, they are, I'm checking to make sure, the Tlingit people. And so you should be seeing a little box come up here, and I'll kind of explain and kind of walk you through their art. So it's a highly stylized art. As soon as you see it, you'll probably recognize it. A lot of some hockey teams have some similar art to this in their logo, because several of them are from, you'll see this type of art a lot in the northwest of the United States or in Canada, or this group particularly, they're native to Alaska, and their name actually means the people of the tide. So they live on a shoreline, a very thin little bit of shoreline in Alaska, and they have been creating this beautiful stylized art for hundreds of years. It is often animal focused or focused on myth and the stories of their culture. And it's really characterized by these thick black lines that outline the different parts. It's usually listed animals or some kind of mythological character, and they have a lot of reds and blues in them. They're, absolutely gorgeous. They can be done on flat paper. They can be carved a lot of times and painted. The art that you're seeing up here right now is by a Tlingit artist. His name is James Johnson, and this is actually a painting on canvas, and it's got a lot of those beautiful colors. So what I worked on today was kind of bringing this down to a really cool, more accessible level for kids. And looks complicated, but once you watch me do it, it's really not too bad. This is like a bear. And so as you saw in the work there, it had a lot of the stylized is the limbs are separate colors. A lot of times the lips and ears and small body parts stand out. This is my little bear that I did. So what I'm going to do is show you the process of doing this. I'm going to do a sun. I'm going to start really, really simple. So I'm going to lower my camera down a little bit so you can see my table and what I'm doing right here. So what I have here are a selection of just construction paper. Now the black is going to be my background. It's going to let my line shine through. So I'm actually going to put the black to the side over here. I don't want it to get cut or get mixed in. And I'm actually going to pull my white paper to the front. And the white paper is the paper that I'm going to actually draw my design on. So I'm going to start really, really simple today. And I'm actually going to just do like a little sun. So I'm going to start. If you want to do a sun too and you're worried about getting your circle straight, I always keep a lot of containers around my room for kids to trace. You guys can see that? No, you really can't, can you? Let me grab a marker and we'll do it a little bit darker. Actually, I'll just do it darker with a pencil. Actually, I'll take this out. That'll make it a little darker too. There we go. So I'm going to draw nice and dark so you can see it. I've got my sun, and maybe I'll do like some little rays coming out. A lot of the animals that they would choose to use for this would be, since they are ocean, people who live at the ocean, a lot of ocean animals, a lot of whales, a lot of bears, foxes, birds are a good animal to do this with if you want to, like keep it traditional for the artwork of the Tlingit people. A lot of suns, moons, really pretty and stylized. So I'm just coming around and doing my little sun here. Like I said, I just want to keep it kind of simple for this. So my next step is going to be, and I just really did an outline. I kind of want to make Sure, I'm not going to put details like eyes or swirls because we're kind of cutting this into pieces, so the simpler you keep it, the better. So the next thing I'm actually going to do is layer my paper together, and I'm going to cut all of the pieces out together. So I have a blue sheet, a light blue, a red, and a white. If you think that this cutting might be a little difficult for you, a grown-up can do this part, or you can always cut the white part out and then lay it on top and trace it on the next one and cut that one out. And then lay it, trace it, cut it out one at a time. But just to be quick and so you can see how this works, I'm going to show you how I just cut it out. So holding them really firmly with my one hand like this, I'm just going to come along and just cut in. And I tell my kids a lot of times, if you're cutting in is easier than cutting out. Just gonna pull that piece. So what I'm doing is just literally cutting all of these rays out. I'm going to try to keep it one big piece, and I know I had it in sections. I'm going to kind of speed up and start cutting this a little quicker. I know I had it in sections earlier. You're cutting your whole piece out as one big piece, and then I'm going to be able to cut my sections out once I have my outline cut out. And also, while I'm talking to you, I'm cutting this. Just like I talked about yesterday with Cinco de Mayo, I'm always really careful when I'm doing art that represents cultural groups that I'm being culturally sensitive to those groups, and I'm not just choosing art that has become stereotypical for that group of people. I just want to make sure that there's a big chunk that came off. Like I said, this part is a little, this is probably the hardest part of this. And it doesn't have to be perfect like always. Two left. There we go. All right, perfect. So these are all my scraps. I can keep these, do some kind of collaging with them later. And I have my shape here, and I have all my different layers. So I have my 3 different colors that I chose and my white. And so what I'm going to do now is cut them in sections. So for example, when I did my bear here, what I did was I took my bear, I left them all stacked together, and I cut off and just kind of sectioned off with my scissors the pieces. If you want to draw with a pencil first on the top layer, you absolutely can. But I'm going to keep it simple today and just cut off the rays that go around, and watch really carefully, because as I cut them, I'm going to leave them where I cut them off. So I'm cutting it low and I'm letting it drop. Cutting it low, letting it drop right where it goes. Cutting it low, letting it drop. So I'm kind of making these little puzzle pieces. If one of them flies off like this, I'm going to stop what I'm doing, straighten it up, and I want to keep them in the order that I had them. So I'm just going to keep going around my circle. When I was cutting my bears off, well, I was cutting his legs off, I kind of did the same thing. I just laid him down where it belongs in the circle, or for my bear on the bear's body. Just going to keep going around. Nice. And I thought about leaving this guy whole, but then I decided it'd be really fun to cut it in half. So now I kind of have enough pieces to make 4 different puzzles. A white puzzle, a red puzzle, a light blue puzzle, and a dark blue puzzle. So what I can do now is actually start gluing pieces down, and since I have all of these different colors, I can choose which pieces I want to use. If you want to use the white ones, you definitely can. I'm probably going to take mine out, but I am going to start by gluing down my focal point. So for me, I'm doing the center of my design. So I might do this side red. I'm going to glue it down, and then I think I'm going to do the dark blue. No, I'm going to do the light blue. That'll jump out really nice against the black. I'm going to show you that when I glue them down, I'm just using stick glue for this. I'm leaving a little bit of space in between my pieces that I'm putting down, and that gives it that really nice thick black line that's really characteristic of the art of the Tlingit people. And then I can just start going around and gluing down whatever colors. I haven't done a dark blue yet. I try to do some variety, so if I haven't used a dark blue in a while, I might glue that one down. And I just kind of move around my circle to each different pile and choose a different color for the next piece and just glue them down as I go. So if you have an animal, like with my bear, I tried to not have the same colors touching each other. I knew I wanted the lips to be red, so I did that. I started with that and I moved out. With this, it really doesn't matter. I'm just kind of making a pretty pattern. I might alternate a little bit. The nice thing about this is you can make multiple designs from one cutting. So as I go through this, and I'm going to probably stop here with this just to show you guys, the progress so far, but I'm just laying the pieces out. The cool thing about this is now I have, once I get all the way around, I have all of these extra pieces left, so I can do it again. I could do it a different way. I could flip the pieces around and try a different puzzle or any way I want it to be. So I hope you guys really have, there we go. I hope you have a good time with this project today. It's something that can be interpreted in a lot of ways, so you can, make a simple sun if you want to, or you can go as far as to make like a really complicated animal. But just kind of using that really beautiful pattern that the Tlingit people use in the colors, if you're able, if you have these colors at home. I would love to see your World Travel Wednesday art. You can send it to me on Dojo if you're one of my students. You can send it to me on Facebook if you're my friend, or on Instagram or Twitter at CSRileyTeach. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.